So, what does the community think of Biz Raditz's EZA? How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We got another Dokkan Battle video for you here today. We have the EZA for the Fizz Raditz, the long-awaited, the long-memed character, easily one of the worst releases in Dokkan Battle. He just did not live up to the potential, being that, this is a character, this is probably the only Dokkan Fest Raditz we were ever going to get, and his release was a tad bit disappointing. However, here we are, we've come full circle, and we've gotten his EZA. And so we put out the question here to quite a few of you guys here, just to see what you guys think about his EZA. Asked everybody to just let us know, give us your full thoughts. So in this video, we'll be breaking down each of you guys' comments in the various posts that we made on this. So let's just start here on Twitter, since we didn't really get that many responses on this post, and we'll talk about some other areas too. So from Platinum here, right, looks good, promising, don't think he's broken. I think that's fair. After playing around a little bit with him on the private server, I definitely, obviously, we put things like broken for, clickbait titles, just to get people interested. But it does seem pretty good, but definitely not broken. So I do agree with you there. Ultra KO, he's good. That's it. No explanation needed. Okay. All right, so that does look like that is all we had on Twitter, unfortunately. Taking a look over here on our video, right? We got a few responses on the video as well. Yeah, we put it out a little bit everywhere, So we've got on Easter Sunday, the almighty Raditz has risen. From Charisma, we got why yes, EZA Fizz Ultimate Gohan Tentacle. I love this one. This is the meme, right? Because Ultimate Gohan was always called Fizz, Fizz Raditz's nephew, but now here we are. Both of them had extreme redemptions on their EZA, so that's really nice here, right? Chaditz is actually good. More memes for the Chad. Yeah, I definitely think we're gonna have a lot of fun with the memes here, right? He does look really good, right? If we kind of want to just look over here, right, we'll come back to the comments. Like, he's got a lot of good stuff going on with him, right? He's got, on average, right, 30% damage reduction for one turn only. As the first attacker, he will get 30% damage reduction, right? So you could slot one him on turn one and have 60%, or you can let him build up for a second and then slot one him, and then he's got 60% damage reduction rate with his attack and defense build up, if he gets it. Now, one thing I've heard, and we'll come back to this because we're going to show a couple posts on Twitter from other people, right? A lot of people are, I don't know if they're just misreading this portion, but what I'm seeing is a lot of people, right, when facing one enemy or when there's an ally whose name includes Nappa, right, or two or two or more enemies, or an ally who includes Vegeta. Like, this is a really strange thing, because I'm seeing people say, well, he's basically restricted to the new Nappa and Vegeta. And it's like, no, it's one enemy or Nappa on the team. So one enemy is basically any fight, right? And even if that weren't the case, right? Even if that weren't the case, like, that's like literally we're getting a Nappa right here. You have STR Nappa. You can run the friend AGL Nappa and Vegeta if that's what you got to do, right? So it's not like that's difficult to activate. And then, like, if we want to talk about Vegeta as well, hold up. We've literally gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 4 LR Vegetas just since 11th anniversary. If you still want to run them on a team with the Blues, which you can because they're pure Saiyans, right? You've got a Vegeta here. You've got, these guys, a Vegeta, right? You've got, right, TURs, right? We have the new Nappa and Vegeta, obviously. You have the Saiyan Saga Vegeta, if you did summon on that. You have AGL Majin Vegeta, right? You have Int Majin Vegeta. You have EZA, right? Like, that just... It seems like a really odd complaint to me. to say to call that restricted when again he's literally got like there's just so many different Vegetas, and if you've run Vegetas in Nappa's team, which you've probably noticed, like Giant 8 Power is probably the best variation of his team, right? So it's not like that's a difficult task, right? You still have the 11th anniversary LRs on that team. You have these guys on that team. It's not it is not difficult to activate that condition. So I'm not really sure why people are acting like he's super restricted, needing a Vegeta, because again, we've gotten 5 since anniversary. So coming back to our question, to our comments though, right? From Balboa, right? He made the comeback, Fizz Ratty Baby. Of course, now he's excited, but we'll need to keep the composure to see how he looks in action. Well, we have seen how he looks in action. Now, I don't want to use entirely, Dokkan World's info, because again, he's been wrong before, but that was mostly due to like the way he's been setting up his teams. But what I can tell you is that right through my testing, he is pretty good. I'm still not sure how I feel about uploading private server data. Maybe we'll start doing it. Let us know if you think we should, but I can tell you, right, he looks really good from the testing. And then of course we'll upload our Rainbow Showcase here when he comes out. So Taiga, this has happened, and this is the day where Raditz officially made his redemption. Yep, definitely. And I think Taiga here actually brings up a really good point here, right? That the player survey works, right? One of the things, right, that a lot of people mention is like, right, EZA should really redeem these characters that, where you didn't really have a full shot, and it seems like they're working, right? So it seems like they do listen to the player survey. So really good there. All right, I actually want to flip over to Discord. We did have a few comments on Discord that I wanted to check out. So let's flip over there. Okay, so we're in the Discord here and posed the same question. Let us know the thoughts on Raditz's redemption. Ichigo here doesn't really believe it's a redemption. Burf, praying he does well in the showcase. Well, we'll definitely be there to show you that. So thankfully, Ichigo did turn... did at least explain, right? They turned him from butt to usable. Sub EZAs are better again. So I'm going to tackle this one later because there's a few other things I want to talk about here in terms of the sub EZA. But again, right, they're looking at being restricted. For some reason, he thinks he's not restricted. I'm not sure I understand where this is coming from, right? He looks very bad without the new Nappa and Vegeta unit. Again, his only restriction is that you need a Vegeta. Now, that said, he will look really good on Nappa and Vegeta's team because Nappa and Vegeta are supporting the crap out of that team. So he will look really good on that team. So that's worth noting. Broken on a single team. Again, I'm not really sure where this is coming from, that they... that people believe he is restricted, right? Like, he's not restricted. You just need a Vegeta. I'm not sure where this is coming from. Okay, Charisma. Raditz doesn't look bad. Probably not going to want to use him outside of the Saiyan Saga setups, but that's mostly where you use him anyways. Yeah. So again, like I was saying, he's going to look really good. He's going to look better on the Saiyan Saga setup. So if you really want to see maximum potential, that's where you're going to be looking at him. That's not to say he's bad outside of those setups. Namaku Merchant, obviously being a little facetious here, calling him better than the Blues. I wouldn't say that, but I get where you're coming from. Okay. The sub EZA. Okay. So now we're dogging on the ROF Blues here. Heart Striker, all in good time. We'll know. That's all I can say, and we'll continue to say. Yep, test him in game, of course, right? Aubrey used to be usable on Pure Saiyans. Can he not do that anymore? And then, of course, Charisma comes back with that as long as you have Vegeta on the team, which is what I've been saying, right? Like, he's going to be fine on any Pure Saiyan setup as long as there's a Vegeta. He will be fine. And I do think that's, and then, Yeah. Let's see. Okay. So, yeah, it doesn't look like we have much more replies than that. So, let's go ahead and let's come back over to Twitter here. All right, so we're on Twitter, just looking at a couple of different posts from the Raditz discussion here. So it does seem to really be a mix, right? Obviously, we have Fanac here who thinks he's pretty good, right? People are. This is another one. I've heard this. I actually made a post about this. A lot of people are complaining about this not doing anything. But honestly, it's better than it's not doing anything, because if it did do something, people would be mad that it's locked behind the final blow. See, even Truth thinks that they're all pretty good, including PHY Raditz. So, I mean, I think it's interesting how people are kind of dogging on him that way, despite the fact that he looks really good. Did we have we did go over the calcs here, but we'll go back over them in a minute. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people are thinking he's just not, like, it's weird. So, because a lot of Twitter thinks he's just kind of not good enough. In fact, a lot of Twitter thinks that the tech one is better, yet a lot of the comments that we got are the exact opposite, right? And so, like, well, I'm actually going to pull out the, since this is based off of Rhodey's post, I'll actually pull up his other posts here. Hang on. So like I said, a lot of people seem to be thinking he's better, and it's really based off the calcs from this post, right? When you look at the calcs here for the tech Raditz, right, from Rhodey's calcs, right, attack output, assuming you're fighting the right type of enemy, right, he's looking at 177 mil on his turn 1. By his turn 2, because he's stacking, you're around 236, which does seem like a lot until you consider that that's only if you're fighting a Goku's family, that's only if you're fighting a Namekians, and that's only if you're fighting a Saiyan Saga. So while that might be good for any upcoming red zones that we might get, or the current Goku fight, and things like Cell Max or things like Bio Broly or the Gammas, you're not going to be seeing that level of offense. Defense-wise, he's not looking too bad, right? 1.9 post SA on his first appearance. 3 million on his second appearance. But this is insanely juiced up, right? And but then you look here at and that is insanely juiced up. But then you look at Raditz, same thing, insanely juiced up, and he's significantly higher than according to Rhodey's calcs here, he's significantly higher than the tech one. The tech's one ceiling is higher because he's an infinite stacker, but the reality is you're going to be floating him in the third slot mostly anyways, which means, you're not going to have a lot of that damage reduction, and his damage reduction is also HP restricted because of that. And so it's just, it seems like there's a lot of downplay, right? This guy defensively is going to be good for most things. He's not going to be tanking major supers in a lot of these shorter fights, but he could possibly 50% dodge them. Longer fights, he's definitely going to be better than the Fizz one, of course, right? If it's a super long fight. But for the current level of content, medium to short content that we're in now, right? PHY Raditz is going to be better. And that's the reality of it, right? Like, PHY Raditz is really good. He is better than the tech one. The tech one just has a slight advantage in the longer fight. So it's really weird that there's this major downplay on that, because he's going to be more consistently better defensively. And so, I mean, even Bomber here agrees that he's going to be more consistent defensive wise, but the tech one does offer utility dodge support, which is nice, right? But again, that's not always the best. Like, we've seen how utility dodge support can bite you in the butt sometimes, so that's not always the best, but it can be useful. So he does have his use. He is good, but he's definitely not better than the Fizz one. It's really strange. Then, of course, we get this guy here who says, I can't read because I point this out, whatever. So does seem like there is a mix, even looking at the rest of some of these posts here in the discussion, right? A lot of people are just pretty surprised that that he is good. Seems to be the overall one, right? Nappa Baldy here, right? Looking at 100% damage reduction on Nappa's taunt, right? Goma's giant form, STR Nappa's 90 dodge, Fizz Raditz 80% dodge and DR in slot 1, right? Like this team is actually kind of indestructible. Like it's really, really, really good. So yeah, and then look, there's your Vegeta right there. Even if you didn't have this guy, you've got this guy, right, who's an insanely good LR. So I mean, all in all, it looks like the community seems to have a pretty overall positive. There's some outliers, but seem like the response to Fizz Raditz's EZA is overall pretty positive, which we don't get very often. It's kind of strange, right? There's some slight downplay, but it does seem like it's overwhelmingly positive. So that's a great thing. So, guys, that is it for our video. If you like our video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let us know if I didn't get to you or you weren't able to share your thoughts. Let us know in the comments down below. What do you think of Dokkan Fest Raditz EZA? Let us know in the comments down below. Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and aloha.